Welcome to TMS Insights. It's the end of May. It's Matt Salmon and Jeremy Hook bringing you a bit of end of year news. We did say we'd bring you a bit of a budget update, but we're going to grow that a little bit. There wasn't so much in this year's budget that affects our clients overall, Matt, but let's go back a year, because last year when the budget was released, there were some very large impacts on super generally.
Yep.
Maybe let's see how the year played out, and just a recap for people of what they need to be thinking about.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, the biggest changes last year were the introduction of the 1.6 million cap. So clients with larger member balances would have had to roll some back into accumulation. What that is going to do is start to affect some of the decisions around capital gains tax, because you are paying tax within super, which you weren't previously.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the important things. The other thing for probably more general clients, not so much just the higher balance people, is the changes to the contribution limits.
Yeah.
So this year it's been reduced. The non-concessional contribution is 100,000, or if you're under 65, you can roll 3 years into one. So you could do 300,000 in 1 year and then no more for the 3-year period.
Yeah.
But also the tax concessional contribution, which is what you either salary sacrifice or your super guarantee contribution, has been reduced for over 50s from 35,000 to 25,000.
And that's a pretty important point, because if people didn't get up to speed with that, or their employer didn't monitor this, some may have contributed more than 25,000, right?
I've had a number of clients actually who I've had a look at their books, or they've come to me and mentioned, oh look, I'm up to 30,000. I've got 5,000 to go before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that's even, with a decent payroll department. The onus isn't on the payroll department to monitor that. It's up to the individual. So
that's a really important thing to look at now.
Absolutely.
Because we've got less, about a month really to fix this up if we need to.
Yep.
So that's been important. Again, so what else from last year that's had an impact over the course of this financial year to date?
One thing that is different, that's going to come into play with the tax planning this year from last year, is that with that 25,000 deductible contribution, if you're up to 14,000 at this point, in prior years you had to salary sacrifice or do your SG contribution. That was the only way you could get up to your cap.
Yeah.
What the government's allowed you to do is you can actually just put a lump sum. It can be your personal money, and you can call that a deductible contribution, which will reduce your marginal tax rate or your taxable income. Okay. So the big benefit of that is if you're on a relatively high income and you've got a little bit of excess cash flow, and you were sitting at 14,000, you've still got 11,000 before your cap, is dumping that in close to the end of June. And when you put it in, you're only paying 15% contributions tax versus your marginal tax rate. So massive benefits straight
Absolutely.
up.
Must do for everybody who can. So that's certainly a good thing. Okay, let's fast forward to the May 8 budget announcement. We last gave insights the day of the budget, so we didn't know what would come out. We haven't been in a race necessarily to bring the news of that, because it was surprisingly, from terms of view, of big changes. Light on, wasn't it?
It was very light on, yeah.
So tell us just briefly what it was, and we might have a look at some of the economic stories as well.
Apart from the changes that have been rehashed in the media around the tax rates for income tax, but looking at the super changes particularly, very light on. The only thing that probably would start to affect a lot of our clients, because we've got self-managed super funds, is the introduction from 1st of July that you can actually have 6 members in a fund rather than 4. There's a lot of complications involved in that. You want to be really careful about who you invite into your fund, even if it's family.
But one of the big things that can do is manage your caps.
Absolutely, yeah.
And potentially franking.
Yes,
Bill Shorten-led government, should it be elected.
Yes, there's strategies we could do around that. If you're no longer getting your franking credits being in a zero tax environment, you can invite some people in who are in a taxable accumulation environment. So that could be your children. There's complications around that, so you'd certainly want to discuss it and be really aware of, what that means for your fund.
Yeah.
Look, the other things, really, that's probably the major change for our clients. The other things...
Yeah, and that's one that needs to be discussed and properly played out before any action was taken.
Yes, yeah. The other ones were no exit fees from 1st of July 2019. Look, exit fees for super funds, some industry funds and the like will charge $30 to $50. So
not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Yeah, and the other one I thought I'd mention, just how the government tends to complicate the superannuation environment. They have changed the workforce test. If you're between 65 and 74 with a balance under 300,000, for the first year after you cease a working arrangement, you can still contribute under the current rules.
Yeah.
So to me, I mean, it doesn't affect many
Won't
of our
affect
clients.
a lot of our clients necessarily, but it's a good thing for those who've got lower balances.
Look, it's a good thing, but it's overly complicated. Why you wouldn't just say between 65 and 74, there's no longer a workforce test.
Yeah.
It's again just an example of what
how government can get it very confused for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's try to unwind a little bit of the coming into June. June 30 still becomes a very important date for a lot of things related to super.
Yes.
Accountants and clients should have had some discussion by now.
Yes.
If not, they must.
Yep.
Returns were due for last year on May 15th.
Yep.
And getting your pension minimums worked out is of high importance now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the accountant should have provided all clients with their 16-17 tax return, and the balance at 30th of June 17 determines your pension minimums. Okay, so all clients should have received from their accountants their pension minimums, and you need to ensure, it's paramount that you ensure you've paid your pension minimums. The other thing is what you need to be a little bit aware of as a trustee of a super fund is if you've contributed large amounts into super in that 16-17 year, the accountant may look at those contributions as being in accumulation phase, so they won't make up part of your minimum pension. Now, if you're in a position where your entire fund can be in a zero tax environment, you need to make sure your minimum pension, you add a little bit to it to cover that accumulation balance. Now, the problem with, by the time we see a lot of this information, it's past the end of the financial year, and there's not much we can do about it. So it's something you need to be looking at now over the next month.
Yeah. And if in doubt, contact us on that, as with anything.
Definitely.
So just a reminder on contributions, so people are aware of it. As set out last budget, hasn't changed, the 2017 budget.
Yep.
Again, you've told us about the concessionals.
Yep.
Reminder about the non-concessionals.
The non-concessional, so the most you can put in is 100,000 per year, or roll 3 years into one and do 300,000 in 1 year. If a client had a lot of money to put in, I would probably, and they're under 65 by a year or two, I would be suggesting if you want to put a fair bit in, you put 100,000 in before June, and then come July you can use your 3-year bring forward rule. So effectively over a month, saddling the financial year, you could get 400,000 in. Now, if you're a husband and wife, that could be 800,000. I mean, if you've got that money, that's great. But you just need to be managed about how you do it.
Yeah. Okay. So with these sort of changes, June still becomes a very important time. Again, I guess just to carry and round off the budget, overall it was seen as relatively good economic news, a return to surplus sooner than planned, and tax rates to fall. Again, there is a divide in the political environment. The ALP and the coalition are quite divided on tax policy and will take quite different approaches going into the election when it is probably in the first half of next year. That will be very important, the result, particularly if Labor were to win, from the changes to negative gearing, treatment of trusts, franking credits is going to be massive. So expect a lot of discussion in the back end of this year and leading into the election, which will impact. Matt, final thoughts, RE, the budget and the lead up to June?
Well, look, I think the budget was much ado about nothing for a lot of, especially for superannuation. Leading up to June, contributions, make sure you've got your contributions at the level you want them to be. Make sure you've paid your minimum pensions. If you do have a higher balance, make sure your accountant has applied correctly for CGT relief if you're over 1.6 million member balance. And make sure you talk to us if you're unsure about any of those things, because,
and that is the key message, and the takeaway is that we're here with the structural advice as well as the investment advice for you to ask. If you're unsure, just ask, and do it earlier in June rather than later. It always makes it easier for us to get something right if we've got a little bit of time to do so.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. We look forward to bringing you more news about the market in June.